Good morning, Vietnam. I don't know if you watch that movie, whatever. But either way, what's up, guys? And I'm gonna go and shoot my first music video. I'm actually not getting paid or anything. It's just not really a job. I'm really just helping out my friend who runs a production company who's been doing this project, and he needed more hands on deck, and he just asked me to straight up be a DP for the shoot, which is kind of high pressure for someone who's really new to these things. So I'm packing up my stuff right now. I'm bringing as much camera gear as I can because it's a very small indie low budget shoot, so he basically needs to borrow my stuff, and so I'll just show you what I'm packing. Let's pack it. Camera is this, my Canon C500. It's a beast. It's a workhorse. It's a small, tiny tripod. I think I'm just gonna bring these two. This is the MIR 37mm, and this is the Helios 44-2. And these are M42 vintage film lenses. I got a little adapter on here to EF mount. They should do the job just fine. All's good. I really need to get some sort of Pelican or Nanook case to store all of this safely and to bring it to shoots and stuff, especially if I'm going to be doing this more and more often. I don't have the money and don't have the funds yet, but hopefully one day I'll be able to afford that with my meager army pay. Oh yeah, and always wear a watch to a shoot. Like, it's just, you need the time. You need to keep track of the time at all times to be the most efficient and productive you can be. How does this sound? I've decided, for kind of portability's sake, I'm not bringing along a microphone for this camera, so if the audio works, then I might speak into it. If it sucks, then I'll just do a voiceover explaining kind of what has happened in the day. I don't want to be too obtrusive on a shoot, which isn't even close to being about me anyway, so I want to stay hidden except for when I'm doing my job, which is super exciting. So I'm just gonna film behind the scenes with this camera and then maybe talk about it once the whole thing's over on another day. But got myself a vlog cam.
Oh, nice.
$300, 4K. Micro Four Thirds.
Hey.
So that's the guy who kind of called me up to help. Basically, he's kind of the guy behind everything here, behind the producing, directing, all that stuff. He's rolling. Shout out to him for getting me onto this shoot because it was really, really fun. And essentially, the whole idea is that we're shooting a music video for this local artist, influencer person. Her name is Amanda. Her Instagram is Amanda Sings. There's no need for me to plug her. In fact, she should be plugging me. But no, I'm just kidding with that statement. But she's very big on the influencer space, but in terms of the music space, she's not that well established. So music videos are coming out to kind of put her foot inside of the game. So that's what this whole shoot is about. And because it's a small budget, no sponsor kind of music video, they needed help that was cheap or free, like me. So that's why I was called out to help. I don't mind though, it's a fun experience, and they let me vlog, and the guy bought me lunch, so that's pretty good.
Can we?
As in this scene done.
Done.
We need close-ups though.
We need close up.
B-rolls, like the same setup, kind of same.
Wait, let me. Wait.
Look at this professional grip. The studio we shot in was actually his place. He's been working in the music industry for years. Recently just transitioned into the video game, and that's why his place is a mismatch of wonderful audio gear and also wonderful camera gear. In terms of shoot kind of cameras, I had my G7, which is my vlog camera. The C500 was brought just to be a backup B camera. In reality, we didn't actually use it. There was a BMPCC 4K on set, which we were supposed to use for one of the shots, but he decided to just stick with using his A7S III, which in hindsight is probably the better decision because it's just more convenient to just shoot on one consistent camera throughout the whole project. So we're shooting on the A7S III into a Ninja 5 recorder, and shooting on the A7S III is honestly super fun. I might even make a whole video about the whole experience of using an A7S III because I got to operate some of the shots and shoot some of the shots with that camera, and that's like a $5,000 camera. And I know I have a C500, which is technically more pro than it, but the S3 is like cutting edge stuff, and it's super cool, super fun to mess around with. So then my job was mainly actually to be more of a grip. I wasn't a DP for this shoot, I was a DP for another shoot, but that shoot was cancelled. So, you know, I basically just was working as a grip. And in terms of lights, we didn't actually have that much in terms of lighting equipment. In terms of like high power sources, I would wish to have more than what I have at home. But this is the newer SL60W. At least I was familiar with this light, I knew how to operate it, but it's not really that great of a light. But we used it to kind of fake sunlight and sun rays. We use this kind of a wooden board with slits in it to fake sunrise, sunset, or whatever, just shining through the shades of a house to kind of add texture to the lighting. But unfortunately, because we didn't have a Fresnel, the light rays kind of were dispersing in all directions in an arch, as opposed to being direct straight lines, which is how sun's supposed to look when it's shining through a window. So it looked kind of artificial, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it is what it is, and you just gotta work with what you have on set. At least the newer SL60W is something I'm very familiar with working with, so it wasn't too much of a concern setting the whole thing up. And in terms of key lighting, fill lighting, we used a lot of practicals. We used the practical lights that were part of the very excellent looking set, in my opinion. The whole idea was the artist was going to perform and sing one of her verses on this bed, and it would just be like an act and stuff. And the whole set looked very, very nice, so I like that. And it was a very good theme, very good balance, and he really cleaned up the place, and it looked good. But we used a Pebble Tube fill light, Pebble Tube key light, and in some situations we even used an Aperture MC as a hair light. And I also used my LED panel, the newer 480 RGB. I covered it in a bit of wax paper and used it to diffuse a soft bit of light at the back of the bed, because I wanted to add more texture and also warm up the background light a bit.
Okay. I think we can do it lah. Stress. Stress. Are you stressed?
I'm chill.
Yeah, but this one's can. I think cannot. I think can.
Nothing that I
See your
don't
roots.
think but the back is funny.
Sorry, Mel. Also because my grip fell ill today. I actually had a grip today, but she fell ill.
Oh no, this is right.
Why I'm stressed?
Oh.
So for my first time kind of helping out on a set, this was an awesome experience. I like the whole idea of working with people, and I definitely want to do this more down the road. And once I'm out of the military from national service, I might consider just doing this full-time and stuff. But that's just really depend on how my YouTube stuff goes. Because if my YouTube stuff goes really well, then there might not be enough time to kind of justify doing this kind of video production route. But I definitely did find the whole set life thing really true, really fun, and it was an awesome experience. So shout out to Roland, shout out to Amanda. The DP was Mink, the guy who helped me out with the grip, because he actually has education with this stuff instead of being just self-taught. His name is Joel, Fufu Films, you can check that out on Instagram. Basically a bunch of people on set, they were all pretty dope, and it was a super fun experience. So that was how I shot my first music video. And also we did go to another location to shoot some sort of outdoor shots. This was in Punggol. I think it's called Punggol Settlement, and I liked it a lot because there's a lot of wind, so it was cool. The lighting was pretty decent. We kind of tried to get golden hour, though the sun didn't really come out that much. But we did have that beautiful background of kind of the straits of Malaysia, or this, I don't know what the Singapore Straits, I don't know what it's called. Basically the Singapore River was behind us, and it looked really nice with the ships, the river, the sky, and it was a very good kind of scenic location to shoot. So that was awesome as well. That was the second location, and that's where we shoot. And the actual main DP used this A7 III on a DJI Ronin gimbal to get shots, while we got other insert and B-roll shots with an A7S III, and we got basically a variety of different shots. Now I don't want to review too much, because just in case you are the rare person who actually is both my viewer and a viewer of maybe, or follower of the artist, I don't want to like review too much about this music video because it's still in the works, so letting the cat out of the bag isn't the best thing ever. But I think that some of the shots look really, really nice, and I think it would be a very good looking music video in the end, assuming the editing and color grading and all that stuff is done properly. But the thing about these projects is you never know until it's actually the final product, so we'll just wait and see. But I've had a huge fun time shooting with it. There's a lot of people here who know what the hell they're doing. It's really, you know, even though it's a very small project, everyone kind of was very into it and active, and it was a good experience. Definitely very fun.
Can you see it?
Hi.
Hey, today we're here in Congo settlement. We're in the natural habitat of Singapore. We thought that the golden hour would be at 7 p.m. But apparently today is no golden hour at all. But here comes a wild boar. And well,
One of those. Thank you, Bob. Oh, you mean this?